A man lies dead in his bathtub. His head is wrapped in a white cloth. A deep wound bleeds from his chest. In one hand he still holds a letter. In the other, a quill. This is not a private tragedy. This is one of the most powerful propaganda images ever created. A murder that was turned into a secular crucifixion. This is the story of Jacques-Louis David's The Death of Marat. Jean-Paul Marat was one of the most radical voices of the French Revolution. A former doctor and scientist, he became the editor of the newspaper L'Ami du Peuple, the friend of the people. He called for the heads of the enemies of the revolution. He was hated by the moderate Girondins and feared by many. By 1793 he suffered from a painful skin disease that forced him to spend long hours in a medicinal bath, working and receiving visitors from the water. On July 13, 1793, a 24-year-old woman named Charlotte Corday arrived in Paris. She was a Girondin sympathizer who believed Marat was responsible for the violence of the revolution. She bought a kitchen knife, wrote a letter claiming she had information about traitors, and gained entrance to Marat's apartment. She found him in his bath. After a short conversation, she drew the knife and stabbed him in the chest. He died within moments. Corday did not try to escape. She was arrested, tried, and executed 4 days later. Jacques-Louis David was not only the leading painter of the revolution. He was a close political ally of Marat and a member of the Committee of General Security. The day before the murder, David had visited Marat in his bath. After the assassination, the revolutionary government commissioned him to create a lasting image of the martyr. David worked quickly. He cleaned the scene of its mess, idealized Marat's face, and turned a brutal political killing into a quiet, almost sacred moment. Look closely. Marat holds the letter that Corday used to gain entry, the very words that led him to his death. A wooden box serves as a writing desk. On it David carved his dedication, "Ah Marat, David, to Marat, from David." The knife lies on the floor. The wound is visible, but the blood is controlled. Marat's face is calm, almost Christ-like. David removed the chaos of the real crime scene and created a revolutionary icon. The painting was immediately used as propaganda. It was displayed publicly and copies were made. Marat became a martyr of the revolution. Yet history is never simple. For some, Marat was a bloodthirsty demagogue. For others, he was a defender of the people. David's painting fixed one version of the story forever, the version of the victors of that moment. The death of Marat is more than a record of a murder. It is a carefully constructed myth. A man who lived by the pen and died by the knife became, through David's brush, a saint of the revolution. More than 2 centuries later, the painting still forces us to ask: who controls the image of the dead? And how much truth can a masterpiece contain? Subscribe if you want the stories paintings never tell themselves.